Exploring Idaho, the television adventure showcasing our state's unique people and places, is brought to you by Albertsons, Southwest Airlines, the Idaho Department of Commerce, 7 regional travel committees, and KTVB Channel 7.
Coming up on this edition of Exploring Idaho, we'll take a ride on the wild side. The folks in Wallace are working to make their town the snowmobile capital of the West. Also, it's a skier's paradise. Waist-deep powder snow, no crowds, and some serious fun. Join us as we go SNOWCAT skiing. And a new theater in Sun Valley is putting together the kind of work you'd expect to find in bigger cities. They're playing around in Sun Valley.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Exploring Idaho. We're glad you're here. There's a new buzzword in tourism circles, adventure tourism, and it's probably born from our desire to pack as much as possible into our vacations. You see, an adventure tourist wants to ski one day, snowmobile the next, then take in a day of cross-country skiing and top it all off with a moonlight sled ride. If that sounds like your kind of vacation, then you might want to head to Wallace, Idaho. High in the Bitterroot Mountains near the Montana-Idaho border, Wallace is bound and determined to become the adventure capital of the West. If you're driving on I-90 and happen to look down at this quaint old mining town, you might think, that looks like a nice place for a Sunday drive. Well, take a Sunday drive if you like, but be sure to take it on your snowmobile. Wallace is one of the few towns in the country where your snowmobile is as welcome as your station wagon on city streets. You'll be treated to house after house of turn-of-the-century architecture. It's almost as if this town is frozen in time. The entire city of Wallace is listed with the National Historical Register. And you'll want to stop at the restored Wallace Train Depot. Inside, a museum will give you an idea of this area's rich past. But we must say the townsfolk here are much more interested in their future. And because of that, they'll be glad to see you coming.
I think it's wonderful. We need a little help. They'll come in, spend a little money, spend a few days, and enjoy themselves. We got lots of trails to run on. Head to the trails, boys.
Yes, from Wallace you can head for the hills and ride some 600 miles of snowmobile trails. But make no mistake, this is no Sunday drive. Today's snowmobiles can easily cruise along at 60 miles per hour, but there aren't enough hours in a day to cover all the trails in this magnificent country. Locals say it's America's last snowmobile frontier.
It's wonderful. There's nothing more wonderful than riding along a ridge and you look out and you can see elk or moose and beautiful sunshine, mountains as far as you can see. It's just a real feeling of freedom. A real spirit of freedom.
And when you find a snow bowl to play in, you'll probably have it to yourself. Clouds aren't a part of the scenery here.
You feel like you're floating. Powder that's 2-3 feet deep. It's just the feeling of flying.
There's places to go up here that are just unbelievable. You know, there's just no limits to what you can do here. I mean, you have places like you can go up to bowls that are 30 miles back in the middle of nowhere and never been touched, ever ridden. You know, you're all by your lonesome up there. There's just, you know, it just got everything you can ever want.
And if everything you could ever want includes skiing, just ride your snowmobile up to Lookout Pass. It's only 12 miles from Wallace.
We're really well known for our snow. In fact, one of our marketing jingles is Best Snow in Idaho. And it's just really a neat place. It's a place that we have enough challenging stuff to where even good skiers can have a great time. But it's a place that's not so expensive that you don't feel like you have to do 50 runs in a day to get your money out of it.
In fact, if you're new to the sport, you'll be glad to hear about the Free Ski School, a 50-year-old tradition at Lookout Pass. Started when mining companies subsidized the ski area to keep it going for miners and their families. Whether you're skiing or snowmobiling, most days end somewhere near a fire. And Wallace residents hope you'll agree it was a day well spent.
I think the most unique thing about Wallace is the spirit. We have a spirit of Idaho, a spirit of toughness and survival, but a spirit of sincerity and friendliness. When people come here, they want a chance, you know, to maybe touch something that they haven't felt in a long time.
Wallace and the surrounding area is also a great place to visit in the summer. Now, you just saw the snowmobile trails in all their winter glory. Take a look at them in the summertime. Voila! They are mountain biking trails. These old trails were once mining roads, keeping the economy alive by providing access to the many silver mines here. Isn't it interesting that these very same roads are now a key element in providing the area with its new economic base, tourism? We'll be right back.
Coming up, get ready to fly in a place where your skis take on wings.
When you mention skiing, most of us think of groomed runs and ski lifts, but not a group of backcountry ski guides near McCall. For them, taking a couple of runs down the slopes takes on a whole new meaning. Exploring Idaho's David Mills joins us now with more.
Well, Dee, it's called SNOWCAT skiing, and it combines some beautiful country with awesome skiing. Now, for the powder hounds, those who just can't get enough of the deep and steep, this is as good as it gets. And it's not so bad for the rest of us either. This is a side of Brundage Mountain not too many people get a chance to see. Far from the crowds on the groomed runs, this is SNOWCAT country. Hundreds of acres of waist-deep powder, beckoning those who live to ski. But there are no lifts here. This SNOWCAT is the sole means of transportation up the mountain.
Okay, Dave, you're on the new Wolf powder ski here. It's a little wider. It's great for these cat trips. You can get these people out here that wouldn't ordinarily be able to do it with a regular ski.
Call it an incredible journey. A most excellent adventure.
Powder straps. You can find your ski.
No matter what you call it, there's just nothing like SNOWCAT skiing.
All right, yeah!
Narrow chutes, wide open runs, and the kind of powder that can challenge even the best of skiers. But you don't have to be a pro to try it.
You know, one of the greatest things about this SNOWCAT skiing is the fact that folks of all ability levels can really take part in it. I'm an amateur myself. I only get out a few times a year, and even though I've fallen a few times, I'm still learning things and having a great time.
We want to keep a thing real simple. We don't want to get, you know, too many things going through the brain all at the same time. So.
The seasoned guides can really be helpful. They're more than willing to offer a few tips to help you get down the slopes successfully.
And the other thing is you want to make round turns. You don't want to do anything real quick in this stuff. If you do, it's going to reach out and grab you.
Even with basic skiing ability, it doesn't take long before you figure out this is all right.
It's much like skiing in a cloud. It's very soft, it's very light, and you get that feeling of flying as you go down the fall line. Just a real peaceful feeling, and once you get away from the maddening crowds on the slopes and get out here, it really kind of changes your attitude about going back to work on Monday morning. You know, it really relaxes the soul and feeds the body.
Today, Rich brought his son Tom along for the trip. Tom's a snowboarder who says the backcountry is a great place to cut loose.
On the powder, it feels like you can just fly and just, oh, it's great. It's undescribable.
Yeah, go Kay! Yeah! Nice, Kay, all right.
As for Kay McGee, well, a snowboard's not for her. She prefers the more conventional way of getting down the slopes, and she does it with style.
Yeah!
Especially out here, it's kind of the feeling of being out of bounds, the freedom of being away from the area, the being able to enjoy and experience the beautiful scenery that we're in.
But while you're enjoying all of this, it's important to remember this is rugged and sometimes unforgiving country where Mother Nature is always in control.
The best skiing is always the steepest and the deepest, and when you get into the steepest and the deepest, that's where we get into some concerns about avalanche.
Jim Lafferty and the rest of the guides spend every day out here, checking conditions, testing the snow, ensuring their guests can enjoy safe skiing.
In this case, we've got a layer here at about 33 to 34 inches that is very weak, and the rest of the snow is all resting on that, and so we feel that this is probably a layer that we want to watch.
And it did just what we thought it'd do. This is the bed, and this is that layer that we were concerned about.
Everyone that skis with this is issued an avalanche beacon. It's a transmitter and a receiver.
In the event that someone gets buried in the snow, the beacon helps rescuers find the victim quickly. But suffice it to say, most folks who come on these trips aren't overly concerned with avalanches.
A lot of times I just turn my mind off. It's kind of neat just to react as you go down and you get the stimuli coming in of trees, rocks, snow. And so it's a lot of fun just to kind of go in high gear and start screaming and be unresponsible for a little bit of time.
It's a lot like flying. I just find it just natural, and it's just so clean and pristine, and you're floating out there. It's just like being in space, you know, weightless almost.
Really, it's great. Solitude, freedom. Between turns, the freedom of flying between each initial turn. It's great.
Well, that's about as good a high as you'll ever find, I'll tell you. Every morning I get up, I keep looking forward to the next turn. It's excellent.
This is what it's all about. This is what skiing's all about, right here.
Hey! Hey,
Now, if you plan to go snowcat skiing, you'll need to make arrangements well in advance. As you can guess, it's a pretty popular sport and space is limited. Now, it is offered through two places here in Idaho. One, of course, is Brundage Mountain up near McCall. The other is in eastern Idaho at Grand Targhee Ski Resort. And Dee, if you call in this month for the Exploring Idaho Field Notes, we'll tell you how to get in touch with the folks who can put you in touch with plenty of powder.
We'll have that number for you a little bit later. Looks like you learned a lot about powder skiing in a very short period of time.
Had a great time, and I think if I could do it, anybody can.
All right, David, thank you very much. We'll be right back.
Still to come, a Sun Valley stage with big-time plays.
Welcome back to Exploring Idaho. Take an old building in the heart of Ketchum, a dream to produce the kinds of plays you usually only find in the big city, and you have a theater that is meeting with a great deal of success. The Sun Valley Repertory Company is making its mark in the theater world by offering folks visiting the world-famous ski resort something to do when they're not on the slopes. This isn't Broadway, but rather Main Street, and it's not New York City. We're in Sun Valley. But still, this small-town theater is drawing big names.
Bring out the tall tales now. They'll be told by the fire as the gaslight bubbled like a diver.
The stars have been coming to Sun Valley for years, and now a few, like Richard Dreyfuss, are stepping up on stage to help out a local theater company. Although Dreyfus admits there's also another reason he's here.
My daughter called me one day and she said, "Daddy, good news. I'm in a play." I said, "Great." She said, "And the bad news is you got to be in it with me." So I said, "Oh, okay, great." And it was a chance to be in her first professional play.
I would go out, my bright new boots, squeaking into the white world.
Dylan Thomas's A Child's Christmas in Wales is the first play Dreyfus has been in with his daughter, something he says he'll never forget. And the fact that they're doing it in Sun Valley is significant too.
And you can't help but think when you say the lines about the small town that Dylan grew up in, that you're doing it in a small town, and that there are children in this town who are having the modern equivalent experience of the poetry that's being spoken on the stage.
Engulfing mufflers of the old coach nails, and mittens made for giant sloths.
While every small theater around the country would love to be able to boast productions starring the likes of Richard Dreyfuss, it just doesn't happen that often, and it's even rare here in Sun Valley. It's the down-in-the-trenches, day-in and day-out theater actors that keep audiences entertained, and people like artistic director Kevin McCauley who keep the whole thing running.
Okay, thanks, Jennifer. Bye-bye. What we're really here for is incredible theater. And again, I like to think the reason that people feel, the internationally known people feel good about working here is that we have built a solid reputation for excellent work. It's something that we're continually striving to better with each season. As we are able to get a little more money in the coffers, we make the adjustments necessary to keep the quality coming up.
McCauley wears a number of hats, including actor.
Now, honey, everybody can't be a cheerleader. Oh, Mother! Well, honey, there are other things to live for. Name one!
McCauley says he wants nothing but the best for his theater, the best actors, the most qualified directors.
Okay, good.
Hal Ryder has signed on for a few months, but this isn't the first time he's directed in Sun Valley.
When I first came to Sun Valley, my first production was in a tent, and just fighting the elements to do that play were so significant that, you know, it was a successful production, but it was very, very difficult. And it didn't help the play necessarily being in a tent. Having a theater helps plays themselves and helps an audience enjoy them.
Well, that's all the news we got for you, but stay tuned. Stay tuned.
Everyone admits there's something special about doing theater in Sun Valley, a laid-back Idaho town.
My training's from London, so I'm used to going to the theater in a coat and tie, but certainly not boots. So boots are kind of a new addition, and I am getting used to them.
An important figure behind the Sun Valley Repertory Company is Ando Hickson. He moved here 6 years ago and was looking for a way to get involved in the community. A patron of the arts, he missed not having a theater nearby. And before you could say break a leg, Hickson had broken ground for Sun Valley's first performing arts theater.
And it's kind of the old adage that you build the facility and the people will come. Interest is growing dramatically. Our learning curve is terribly high here. And I think we have an opportunity to really make a difference in terms of the quality and frequency of performing art types of productions that are available to people of this particular region, Idaho in general, and the region.
Thank you. Today, they're filling seats, all 299 of them. Plays here are often sold out, and it's not just the big names bringing them in.
Possibly we doze. But the beginnings of dawn splash us like cold water. We're up. I didn't want while we wait for others to waken.
Catherine Hollowell and Don Alder may not be household names, but they are no strangers to the stage. They're impressing audiences, bringing seasoned talent to this young theater. Alder calls it Sun Valley's newest tourist attraction.
There are a lot of communities I know that have tourists coming in, resorts. They seem to want to search for something else besides what has been the you know, the attraction, like the skiing here, whatever. And I know this is a great arts town. There's a lot of galleries and things, and that's my favorite thing, is to have, you know, a nature in a pristine setting and then some culture together. That's just it's a knockout duo.
Buddy,
The wind is blowing.
But Alder says what really makes this effort pay off is the fact that this theater is a true community effort. Many in Sun Valley are donating their money and time trying to ensure this theater will always be a part of their town.
We unreel our kites. Feel them twitching at the string like sky fish as they swim into the wind.
If you're planning a trip to Sun Valley, check out the theater. Advance tickets can be purchased by phone, and since many plays are sold out, you'll want to be sure to reserve seats. Coming up next, grab a pencil. We'll tell you how to get in touch with the Sun Valley Repertory Company and get more information on all our stories in the Exploring Idaho field notes. Well, now if you have that pencil handy, here's the phone number for the Exploring Idaho field notes, 1-800-635-7820. You'll get more information on the stories you've seen on this edition of Exploring Idaho, so just call and request a copy of the field notes for show number 109. And now as we close, let's head back to the snow-covered peaks near McCall for another look at sensational powder skiing in Idaho's backcountry.